What a fantastic finish in a must-win game for the Packers. When Aaron Jones touched the ball for the first and only time on Sunday, the rookie says he was thinking just one thing. Not exactly great planning on the game day program Thursday night. The Packers were without these two guys, starting offensive tackles David Bakhtiari and Brian Bulaga, but you wouldn't necessarily have known it from the way the game played out. And his main focus this week is just to be himself, not to try to be Aaron Rodgers, and that extends to the rest of the team. McCarthy said this morning, Rebecca, and I'm quoting here, that he would be an idiot to coach Brett Hundley like he coaches Aaron Rodgers. Well, even if you're normally a Badgers fan, there are still a lot of reasons to jump on the Marquette bandwagon, not the least of which is this guy. Smash alumnus Sam Hauser continues to spark the Golden Eagles. Zuck, your special teams coach, says every week in that raspy voice that he's got, like, Trevor's really close to breaking one. Trevor's going to break one every week.
We have to hear that.
Saying that every week. I mean, do you feel like you're close? Because there have been a couple instances where I feel like if you get one more block or you see a lane a little bit quicker, maybe it'll happen. Some of the biggest mistakes, I think, was not only not bringing in free agents, but not re-signing the Micah Hydes and Casey Haywards, who have both went on to become Pro Bowlers at their new teams. His stardom here at Camp Randall Stadium is what has made him a household name, but his story actually began here at Wisconsin Rapids Lincoln High School, where Beagle led the Red Raiders to a state runner-up finish in 2011. The UWSP athletic director Brad Duckworth says this is one of the most significant punishments in the history of Division III athletics. He says Semling oversaw 4 major NCAA rules violations over the last 5 seasons.
Director Brandon Kinnard joins us now in the studio with more on our special report.
Yeah, Mark, Rebecca, NFL players spend their entire career in the spotlight, garnering attention for triumphs on and sometimes off the field. But that amount of time is a small window, and eventually the bubble is going to burst. Players must then ask themselves the question, what's next? The answer doesn't always come right away. Finding life after football isn't easy, but George Kuntz wrote the book on it. Literally.
Is there life after football, surviving the NFL?
The former Packers linebacker and Super Bowl 31 champion has traded in his pads.
George Kuntz made a diving interception.
For books. Kuntz is one of only 2 former Packers to earn a PhD, and he's put it to use, helping craft a guide to help players survive the NFL.
A lot of players are sad because all they know is, competing, playing football, and at some point, that bubble's going to burst.
Kuntz now spends his days at Marian University in Fond du Lac, working as the senior vice president in the Office of University Relations.
Keep pictures around if there's some students. I like to pass these out.
But even for someone who has found so much success, Kuntz's transition to life after the NFL wasn't exactly smooth. Like many players, he struggled to find his place after a 10-year professional career.
I struggled big time with depression, and it was really, really tough. I had to go through counseling.
Depression that ultimately culminated in a serious car wreck in 2003. Kuntz says he took a curve at 75 miles an hour just to see what would happen. He walked away, but his life was changed forever.
How big of a wake-up call was that for you?
That was a huge wake-up call, because after that incident, that's when I said that my football playing days is over with. That's behind me. Let's move forward. And that was the new George. This is my master's at East Carolina University.
What followed was an emphasis on education. If you follow Wausau West hockey, the name Teckles certainly rings a bell. There's not 1, not 2, but 3 of them stuffing the stat sheet night in and night out, helping to lead the Warriors to yet another state tournament appearance. And as their time on the ice comes to a close, the three-piece of brothers hoping to go out in style. On the ice at Wausau West, the Teckle trio is thrice is nice.
We've got a lot of history with a lot of brothers that have gone through the program, but never, I don't think we've had them in the program at the same time.
Nick, Max, and Sam Teckle span 3 years, each playing a vital role on the Warriors' state-bound hockey squad.
Sometimes things will carry over from outside the rink to inside the rink, but it's been a lot of fun.
I mean, growing up when they were skating, yeah, that was nice.
Needless to say, it's a unique dynamic on and off the ice, each of the 3 brothers bringing his own elements to the rink each and every day.
It's fun to see their different personalities. You know, I mean, obviously, they're 3 different brothers. They're built 3 different ways.
Sam, he's the funny one of us. He's the goofball out of the Tecklers. Nick's helped me a lot. He really has. I mean, I'd like to assume they look up to me. obviously experienced everything first.
Jim Lombardo has been the head pro here at Erin Hills since 2006. Since the day the course first opened, he's been very involved in the planning and execution of this week's major tournament. And he says being this involved in the U.S. Open, the very first time it's played in his home state, truly a dream come true.
Can't lie, I've been thinking about it every day for 2 years.
Jim Lombardo is a 1985 graduate of Wausau East. He grew up playing golf at the American Legion course in Wausau. And now he's an integral part of the world's biggest golf tournament.
Get all squared away. All the decisions we've made up in the last 5, 6, 7 years have been all about this week. We've wanted to get this one right, and we've done a lot of planning. It's going great.